Introduction: The Awakening Path of the Middle Way. There are two lights that guide humanity, the light of reason and the light of spirit. When they shine together, they reveal the face of truth. The return of the ancient light. In every age, humanity reaches a crossroads, a moment when our hunger for knowledge outpaces our wisdom to wield it. We split the atom and map the stars, yet we forget the sacredness of a single breath. We explore the heavens, but lose the harmony of our own hearts. In such times, the old ways whisper again, not as relics of superstition but as timeless truths waiting to be reawakened. The Middle Way. Druidism is one such whisper, a bridge between science and spirit, between ancient earth wisdom and the modern search for enlightenment. It is not a religion, but a path of remembrance, a way of seeing the universe as one vast, living organism and recognizing that we, too, are threads in its eternal tapestry. The essence of the path. The Middle Way teaches that all existence arises from balance, between light and shadow, form and spirit, creation and dissolution. It is the path of harmony, not the extremes of denial or indulgence, but the sacred equilibrium that allows life to flourish. From the Druids we inherit the reverence for nature, the understanding that every tree, stone, and stream is alive with spirit. From the mystics and shamans we inherit the tools of awakening, meditation, journeying, and communion with the unseen, and from the light of reason we inherit the wonder of science, the language of pattern, energy, and the interconnected web of life. Together, these form the fivefold way of enlightenment: right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and right mindfulness, each a doorway through which the soul may pass from ignorance to illumination. The Middle Way and the Modern World. This book arises at a time when humanity stands between worlds, between the material and the spiritual, between the old earth and the dawning cosmos. We are explorers of galaxies, yet strangers to our own hearts. We seek the origins of the universe, yet forget that we're its continuation. The teachings of Middle Way Druidism invite us to remember that enlightenment is not withdrawal from life but deep participation in it, that heaven is not a distant realm but the harmony we create when compassion guides our minds. To live this way is to restore the covenant between humanity and nature, between science and soul, between the seen and unseen worlds. The Song of Oran. At the heart of this path flows Oran, the divine inspiration, the breath of creation, the song that moves through all things. Oran is the river of the cosmos, the force that animates stars, guides evolution, and speaks through the intuition of poets and prophets alike. To follow Oran is to live with awareness, to act with compassion, to perceive the unity behind all forms of diversity. It is to awaken to the truth that enlightenment is not an end but a way of being, a continual flowering of consciousness in service to life. The Invitation. This book is both map and mirror. It does not promise salvation but offers understanding, a way to see yourself and the universe as one living continuum. You will find within these pages teachings of the elements, stories of gods and cosmic creation, reflections on science and the sacred, and meditations upon balance, compassion, and transcendence. It is a guide, but the path must be walked by your own feet and the truth felt within your own heart. So before you begin, take a breath, feel the pulse of the earth beneath you, the rhythm of your heart, the vastness of the stars above. You are already part of the great weaving. You have always been. This book is merely the moment of remembering. In the stillness of your breath, may you hear the whisper of Oran. In the fire of your heart, may you feel the flame of the source. In the turning of the world, may you know yourself as eternal. Welcome, traveler of light. You now walk the middle way, the sacred path between science and spirit, between earth and heaven, between what is known and what is infinite. Oran. 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 Chapter 1, The Way of Enlightenment. A treatise on the middle way of Druidism, the path to true illumination. The journey beyond the veil. This book is a beacon for those who seek the light of true awakening. It is a guide to attaining nirvana, the stillness beyond suffering, and transcending the mortal veil to reach to Na Nog, the blessed otherworld. It draws from the sacred streams of Druidic lore, the wisdom of the transcended masters, and the revelations of the shamanic path, those who have walked between the worlds and brought back the hidden knowledge of the eons. To awaken is to remember, to lift the veil from the eyes of the soul and behold the cosmos not as a place of separation, but of living unity. The path to enlightenment is not one of conquest, but of harmony, to live in a way that causes no suffering, to awaken compassion for every living being and to perceive the divine current that flows through all life. Only through the cultivation of such awareness does one prepare to transcend rebirth, leaving behind the wheel of samsara and entering the eternal realms. The three treasures of the gods. 1. Every being holds a spark of the divine. 2. Follow the Auron, the spirit of inspiration. 3. All things are one. These are the treasures of the gods, the hidden jewels within the heart of every soul. When polished by compassion and wisdom, they shine as the light of enlightenment. The Four Noble Truths of the Path. 1. All living beings experience suffering. 2. Suffering arises from desire, attachment, and ignorance. 3. The cessation of desire is the cessation of suffering. 4. The middle way, moderation and mindfulness, leads to liberation. The wise seek not to escape the world, but to understand its nature. Through understanding, the bonds of suffering dissolve. The Four Noble Precepts of the Middle Way Druid. 1. Reverence for life. The destruction of life brings disharmony to the great tapestry of being. To kill is to wound the web of Auron, for every creature carries a sacred song encoded in its Akashic record. Therefore, the follower of the middle way cultivates compassion for all, animal, plant, and human alike. 2. Justice and harmony in community. Injustice is the fruit of ignorance. True community arises when love and fairness dwell between all species of the earth. To harm the community, through greed, cruelty, or apathy, is to turn from the path. 3. Right speech. Speech is the instrument of spirit, the breath of the gods within humankind. It must be used to heal, not harm, to inspire, not destroy. Speak with compassion, and listen with empathy. In this way, harmony ripples through the universe. 4. The middle way of mindfulness. Excess and indulgence cloud the spirit. True awareness arises through balance, eating, drinking, and living in harmony with all beings. The eating of flesh, being the taking of another's life journey, severs the flow of compassion and disrupts divine balance. Thus, the children of Auron abstain, that all souls may thrive beneath the gaze of the gods. The Fivefold Path to Nirvana. These are the steps by which the seeker ascends the mountain of illumination, each flowing into the next as the elements flow into one another, ether into air, air into fire, fire into earth, and earth into water. 1. Right thinking, the element of ether. Thought is the first breath of creation. Our thoughts are seeds, they blossom into words, deeds, and destinies. To think rightly is to nurture compassion in the garden of the mind. Weed out envy, anger, and greed, and water the seeds of joy and wisdom. For as the mind is, so the world becomes. 2. Right speech, the element of air. Speech is the wind that carries thought into the world. It can comfort or cut, heal or harm. To speak rightly is to breathe harmony into existence, to use words as instruments of truth and love. Falsehood and slander are poisons to the soul. Silence, when filled with understanding, is surelier than 1,000 empty words. 3. Right action, the element of fire. Action is thought made manifest. Let every deed be a flame of compassion, not of destruction. To act rightly is to live in harmony with the sacred laws of life, never to kill, never to exploit, never to bring harm to another being or the earth. Even in the face of darkness, the enlightened act with mercy. Non-action in the face of suffering is also a form of harm. Therefore, act with courage, for compassion without action is but a dream unfulfilled. 4. Right livelihood, the element of earth. Our work is the mirror of our soul. Let it be clean and kind. Right livelihood means to live and labor in ways that nurture the earth and its creatures. To trade in suffering, whether of humans, animals, or the land, it corrupts the soul's record in the Akashic realm. The Druid works as steward, not master, of the living world. 5. Right mindfulness, the element of water. Mindfulness is the current that flows through all the other paths. To be mindful is to live in awareness of each breath, each thought, each ripple of consequence. As water reflects the sky, so the mindful heart reflects the divine. Right mindfulness is the pure mirror through which enlightenment is seen. Auran, the flowing spirit. Auran, the holy breath, the flowing inspiration, is the current of divine illumination that moves through all creation. It is the whisper of the goddess, the spark of the god, and the sacred fire of the soul. In ancient rites, the Druids drank the sacred brews of psilocybe amanita, and ayahuasca to open the gates of Auran, yet these are but vessels. The true Auran arises from meditation, stillness, and the inner union of heart and spirit. To receive Auran is to awaken the bright knowledge, wisdom that heals, inspires, and enlightens. It reveals that divinity is not beyond us, but within us. Auran moves through three worlds. The upper world, the realm of the gods and the blessed dead. The middle world, the mortal plane, where free will is tested. The lower world, the realm of ancestral and animal spirits, where nature speaks in the voice of the earth. The enlightened one walks in harmony with all three, understanding that they are not separate, but reflections of one eternal sphere. Yin, yang, karma, and balance. All of creation moves between two currents, yin and yang, the dark and the bright, the still and the active. These are not opposites but complements, as night needs day, rest needs motion, silence needs sound. To walk the middle way is to hold these forces in perfect balance, within the heart, within the world. Karma, the record of our intentions, stored in the Akashic realm. Every thought, word, and action shapes the soul's destiny. Upon death, it is weighed by the immortal judges in the land of the dead. Samsara, the endless cycle of birth and death, the turning of the wheel of ignorance, desire, and suffering. The middle way is the path that stops the wheel. The path of balance. Balance is the key to all enlightenment. Just as the body seeks equilibrium to sustain life, so must the soul seek balance to attain peace. In meditation and mindfulness, we align the inner worlds with the outer cosmos, bringing harmony between spirit and matter. This is the essence of middle way Druidism, the path of the awakened heart, the fusion of thought, speech, and action in compassionate balance. When this harmony is achieved, rebirth ceases, and the soul ascends in radiant stillness. Totia Nanak, to dwell among the gods in the eternal light. Thus ends the first chapter of the path, the way of enlightenment. The journey begins not in the heavens but in the stillness of your own heart. Chapter 2, the sacred concepts of Druidism. Teachings of the middle way of the awakened heart. The 7 pillars of awakening. To walk the path of the middle way is to awaken 7 sacred understandings. Each is a gate to deeper awareness, a key to communion with the divine, and a step toward the illumination of the soul. 1. Learn to truly see, to awaken physical and spiritual awareness. 2. Learn love and compassion for yourself and all others. 3. Learn that your body is a temple, a vessel of the divine. 4. Learn the cycle of the seasons, and live gently upon the land. 5. Learn the importance of nature and community, and walk as a guardian of the earth. 6. Learn to meditate and open your inner eye, the gateway to wisdom. 7. Learn a spiritual path rooted in the mysticism of the cosmos and the other world. The art of seeing, awakened awareness. Open your eyes, not only to light, but to meaning. All beings possess eyes, but few truly see. True sight is not merely the act of perceiving form, but of discerning essence. To be aware is to perceive the silent story within all things, the love that carved your home from stone and timber, the hands that wove your garments, the breath that animates all beings. Awareness is a sacred discipline, a constant awakening. Feel the wind on your skin, the heartbeat in your chest, the vibration of life moving through the world. These are not mere sensations, they are the voice of the living cosmos speaking through your senses. Yet beware the illusions of the age, the propaganda of fear, the distractions of control. Modern civilization teaches blindness, confinement of the soul to narrow corridors of thought. The seeker of truth must learn to see through these veils. To perceive the hidden motives of those who govern without wisdom, and to choose instead the path that serves life, compassion, and the harmony of all beings. To see clearly is to awaken, to recognize the path you walk, and the destiny you shape with each step. 2. The way of love and compassion. To love is to see the divine within all things. Love and compassion are the two wings of enlightenment. They arise from empathy, the sacred mirror of the soul. Without empathy, love cannot take root. Without love, the soul wanders in shadow. To love others, one must first learn to love oneself, not in vanity, but in reverence for the divine spark that dwells within. To see your flaws and forgive them, to see your gifts and honor them. This is the beginning of wisdom. From self-love flows the love of the cosmos, for the stars and planets are not distant strangers, but kin in the great dance of creation. All beings share one breath, one essence, one source. Love, too, must extend to the gods and goddesses, to the shining spirits who dwell in Nog, guiding us through fate and dream. Through meditation and offering, we listen for their intent, for we are born not by chance, but by design woven into the purpose of the divine. 3. The body as sacred temple. The soul is fire, the body, its holy vessel. Your body is not mere flesh, it is the temple of the immortal soul, the vessel through which divine energy flows. In the science of spirit, energy cannot be destroyed, it transforms, transcends, and returns to the source. Thus, to care for the body is an act of worship. Feed it with moderation, move it in strength, defend it when threatened, for it shelters your sacred flame. Self-defense, in balance, is not violence, it is the preservation of divine will upon the earth. To protect oneself and others from harm is a holy duty, for life is sacred, and no being has the right to extinguish another's light. Moderation is the truest expression of the middle way. To overindulge is to dull the spirit, to deny the body is to weaken the vessel. Walk the line between strong, serene, and luminous. 4. The cycle of the seasons and living lightly on the land. The earth is not our possession, it is our reflection. Time flows in sacred rhythm, the great wheel of the year. The Druids mark 8 holy festivals, each a door in the turning of the cosmic cycle. Winter solstice, the 21st of December, the rebirth of the sun. Imbolc, the 1st of February, the quickening of life. Spring equinox, the 21st of March, the balance of day and night. Beltane, the 1st of May, the union of sky and earth. Summer solstice, the 21st of June, the height of light. Lunasaud, the 1st of August, the first harvest. Autumn equinox, the 21st of September, the return of balance. Samhain, the 1st of November, the descent into mystery. Through these cycles we learn reverence, to plant in spring, to harvest in autumn, to honor the rest of winter and the renewal of spring. To live lightly upon the land is to walk in awareness of the biosphere's sacred symbiosis. Each act, the felling of a tree, the taking of a life, the pollution of a river, ripples through the entire web of existence. We are not lords of this world, but caretakers. The earth is the body of the goddess, and every forest her lungs. Deforestation, greed, and ignorance suffocate not just the planet, but the spirit of humankind. To protect the earth is to protect our own soul's future. The importance of nature and community. No soul is an island, all are threads in the living web. Druidism teaches the sanctity of relationship, with nature, with kin, and with the unseen. Plants and animals are our brothers and sisters, the forces of nature our elders and teachers. Humanity's role is not to dominate, but to serve, to stand as guardian of all that breathes and grows. Our intelligence grants us power, but our wisdom demands restraint. Community is the mirror of the soul. Through cooperation and compassion, we build harmony between family, clan, and the greater human tribe. From the roots of our ancestors we grow, and through the fruits of our children we thrive. The human clan, the earth clan, the cosmic clan, all are one family. To live in unity with them is to fulfill the divine will of creation. 6. The inner eye and the vision of meditation. In silence, the universe speaks. Meditation is the bridge between the worlds. It clears the dust from the mirror of the mind and reveals the light of Aurum within. Through meditation, the pineal gland, the sacred eye of illumination, awakens. It opens the doorway to inner vision, where dreams, intuition, and cosmic truths converge. The seeker who journeys inward may meet Thea's side, the shining folk of the other world, and receive their counsel. In shamanic trance or lucid dream, one may walk between the worlds, not to escape, but to bring wisdom home. Through these journeys we learn humility, reverence, and purpose. We learn that all things are alive, and that wisdom flows from silence as surely as rivers flow from the mountains. 7. The mysticism of the cosmos and the otherworld. The stars are the eyes of the gods, through them they behold our deeds. The spiritual path is not confined to the earth, it extends into the very architecture of the cosmos. To gaze upon the stars is to look upon our own origin. Each soul's journey is recorded in their Akashic record, and upon death, it is weighed by the immortal judges in the land of the dead. They consider not only our individual life, but the karma of humanity as a whole. Therefore, we must live not only as individuals, but as custodians of a species charged with protecting its homeworld. To understand the stars is to remember our place within them. The same divine energy that ignites the suns of the heavens burns within our hearts. To destroy our planet is to dim that light. To honor it is to reflect the glory of the gods themselves. Auron, the flowing inspiration, unites the mortal and divine realms. It calls us to awaken, to act with compassion, and to remember that enlightenment is not escape but harmony with all that is. Thus ends the second chapter, the concepts of Druidism. May the seeker walk in balance between earth and sky, between body and spirit, between self and all. Chapter 3, the circle of the elements and the harmony of the worlds. Teachings of the sacred balance. The circle eternal. All things are born from the one breath. The breath that moves through earth, air, fire, water, and ether. Before the worlds were shaped, there was only stillness, a boundless silence pulsing with unseen light. From that silence came a single breath, the Auron, and from that breath arose the 5 sacred elements of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. From their eternal dance, the worlds were born, the upper world of the gods and spirits, the middle world of mortals and matter, and the lower world of roots, ancestors, and the dreaming soul. All things move within this great circle. Every life, every star, every thought is a turning of that wheel, and balance among the elements sustains the harmony of creation. The element of earth, the foundation of being. From the body of the goddess came the mountains and the soil. From her patience, the stone endures. Earth is the keeper of form and foundation. It is the element of stability, endurance, and manifestation, the sacred ground beneath all things. In the human soul, earth is the strength of body, the discipline that brings dreams into reality. To live in harmony with earth is to live with gratitude, to honor the harvest, to walk lightly upon the land, and to build only what brings balance and beauty. But when the earth element falls to excess, it hardens into greed and stagnation. The soul clings to possessions and forgets that life is transient. Thus, the seeker must cultivate not ownership, but stewardship, for we borrow the soil from our ancestors and must return it purified for our descendants. The element of air, the breath of spirit. In the whisper of the wind, the gods speak softly to those who listen. Air is the element of communication, intellect, and freedom. It is the breath that carries inspiration and the song of Auron across the worlds. In the human mind, air is thought and imagination, the clarity that discerns truth from illusion. It governs right speech, right intention, and the courage to speak compassion into being. To live in harmony with air is to let go of rigid thought, to move as the wind moves, light, adaptable, and unseen yet ever present. But when air falls into imbalance, it becomes the storm of words that harm, ideas that divide, knowledge without wisdom. Therefore, guard the sanctity of your words, for they are the wings upon which destiny flies. The element of fire, the light of transformation. Fire dances in the heart of every star and the pulse of every living soul. Fire is the holy flame of transformation. It is the passion that drives creation, the courage that ignites action, the energy that gives birth to art, civilization, and vision. Within the human spirit, fire is willpower, the force that shapes reality. When guided by love, fire brings illumination and purpose. When corrupted by ego, it burns in anger and destruction. To master fire is to temper passion with compassion, to use one's inner flame for domination. But for light, the wise druid does not extinguish fire, but keeps it contained within the sacred heart of the heart. Let your fire be as the sun, warm to those near you, yet distant enough to sustain life without consuming it. The element of water, the flow of motion. The sea is the memory of the world, and within its depths all tears and dreams are one. Water is the element of motion, intuition, and healing.it is the mirror of the soul and the flow of life between all realms. In the human heart, water governs compassion and forgiveness.it teaches the rhythm of letting go, the surrender that cleanses suffering and nourishes growth. When in harmony, water brings peace and empathy, but when in balance, it becomes the flood of fear, the tide of sorrow that drowns the light within. To live by water is to learn the art of flow, to move through life's changes as rivers move through valleys, never resisting the shape of the land, yet shaping it in time through patience and persistence. The element of ether, the light beyond the veil. Ether is the song that unites all elements. The breath of the goddess, unseen yet eternal. Ether, or spirit, is the unifying essence that binds all other elements into harmony.it is the realm of consciousness, intuition, and divine awareness, the invisible thread between worlds. In the human being, ether is the soul itself, the presence that perceives through the eyes of the heart.it is the source of Auron, the divine inspiration that flows from the other world into the mortal realm. Through meditation and stillness, ether awakes within us, revealing all matter is spirit made visible. When ether governs the elements, balance reigns, the spirit is the conductor of the cosmic symphony. The harmony of worlds. As the elements are balanced within us, so the world remains in harmony beyond us. The three worlds are reflections in the same eternal circle, each depends upon the balance of the others, just as the elements within the soul must remain in harmony. The upper world is the realm of gods, angels, and transcendent masters.it is the fire of inspiration and divine order. The middle world is the realm of matter and life, the ground of action, choice, and consequence. The lower world is the realm of ancestors and nature spirits. The deep roots is wisdom, the dream memory of the earth. When three worlds align, the veil grows thin and Auron flows freely between them. The druid stands at the center of these worlds, a bridge between heaven and earth, and underworld, holding the balance as a sacred mediator of creation. The ritual of the circle. To walk the circle is to walk the universe in miniature. The ancient druids began every by casting the circle of the elements, calling earth to the north, air to the east, fire to the south, and water to the west, and invoking ether above and below. To walk the circle is to align oneself with the living cosmos, stand as microcosm, the macrocosm. When the circle is cast with pure intent and open heart, the world become one, and the seeker stands at the still point of creation, where time dissolves and only truth remains. Within that circle, Auron descends light upon the waters, and the druid becomes both vessel or voice of divine harmony. Balance and transcendence. Balance is the secret gate through which all souls descend. When the five elements move in accord within us, and when the three worlds flow in harmony beyond us, the soul becomes luminous and whole. The imbalance of a single element brings suffering. The harmony of it brings enlightenment. TO balance earth with air, fire with water, and to crown them with ether. This is to awaken the core of illumination within. Through this inner alchemy, the seeker becomes a circle itself, not separate from the cosmos, but a radiant reflection of its divine order. Thus, through balance comes peace, through peace, transcendence, the soul that masters the circle need not return, for it has become the harmony of the worlds. Thus ends the third chapter, the circle of the elements and the harmony of the worlds. May your fire burn with compassion, your water flow into your essence in truth, your earth stand in strength, and your ether shine in divine unity. In this balance, the soul becomes the cosmos itself. Chapter 4, the Cauldron of Auronanda. Flow of divine inspiration. Teachings on the sacred fire of creation. The breath of Auron. From the silence before the first dawn, God sang a single note, and from that note all worlds were born. In the beginning There was only stillness, vast, unmeasured, eternal. Then came the first breath, Auran, the sacred outpouring of divine inspiration that set the stars to shining and awakened the sleeping waters of the void. Auran is not merely inspiration.it is the breath of the divine, an animating spirit that flows through every living thing. It is the whisper in the wind, the pulse in the heart, the shimmer between thought and creation. Those who walk the middle way seek to become vessels of Auran, that its light may pour through them unhindered, illuminating the worlds within and without. The three cauldrons of illumination. Within each soul are three cauldrons of warming, of motion, and of wisdom. When Auran flows through them, the soul becomes whole. The ancient Druids taught that within every human being reside three sacred vessels, three cauldrons of Auran through which divine energy flows. Each corresponds to one aspect of our existence, body, heart, and spirit, and to the three realms of the cosmos. 1. The cauldron of warming rests at the navel. The fire of life and vitality.it governs health, passion, and endurance. When this cauldron is tended with mindfulness, the body thrives and the earth rejoices. 2. The cauldron of motion resides within the heart. The flow of feeling and compassion here Auran moves as empathy, creativity, and love when it is open. The soul becomes a river of light flowing toward all beings. 3. The cauldron of wisdom dwells in the brow, the mirror of divine consciousness. When Auran rises here, the seeker perceives truth without illusion, seeing the unity of all that exists. When these three cauldrons align and overflow together, the soul attains imbas, the sacred illumination that bridges mortal and divine mind. Then, the druid becomes not a seeker of wisdom, but wisdom itself. The flow of Auran through the worlds. As the rivers run to the sea, so does Auran flow from the other world into the hearts of humankind. Auran moves through all planes of existence, uniting the three worlds in a current of inspiration. From the upper world, it descends as divine light, the fire of the gods and the guidance of the spirits. Through the middle world, it flows as creativity, love, and the pulse of life. Into the lower world, it seeps as ancestral wisdom and the dreaming voice of nature. The Druid stands at the nexus where these rivers meet, the living bridge between heaven, earth, and underworld. By opening the cauldrons through meditation, ritual, and compassion, the seeker allows Auran to flow freely, becoming a conduit of divine balance and harmony. To block the flow through greed, fear, or hatred is to dam the river of being, but to open the heart in service, gratitude, and wonder is to let the universe sing through you. Invocation of the Auran. Auran? 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 The sacred chant of Auran is the heartbeat of Druidic devotion. It is not a word, but a vibration, a key that unlocks the inner worlds. Each syllable aligns the soul with the five elements and the three realms. A. The breath of air, the inspiration of beginnings. W. The flow of water, the rhythm of life and emotion. En. The fire of spirit, the realization of unity. To chant Auran is to awaken the current within your cauldrons, to call forth the luminous power that shaped the cosmos. It is the sacred hum of existence, a soundless sound heard only by those who listen with the soul. When the chant is complete, silence follows, and in that silence, the voice of the goddess answers. The three gifts of Auran. From Auran flow the gifts of vision, creation, and compassion. And through these gifts, the world is renewed. When the seeker becomes a vessel of Auran, three divine gifts awaken within. 1. Vision, the ability to see beyond form, to perceive the patterns and meanings woven into all things. Vision brings understanding without judgment and transforms confusion into clarity. 2. Creation, the impulse to bring beauty into the world. Every poem, every act of kindness, every healing deed is born of Auran. Through creation, the divine experiences itself anew. 3. Compassion, the radiant warmth that unites all beings. Compassion is the natural outpouring of Auran's light, for when we perceive the divine in others, we cannot bring them harm. These three gifts are the manifestations of the divine breath within us. To use them in service of love and harmony is the essence of the middle way. The alchemy of inspiration. Auran transforms as fire transforms metal, refining the soul until only gold remains. In the work of spiritual transformation, Oran acts as the alchemical fire. It burns away illusion and ignorance, revealing the luminous core of the self. This purification can be fierce, for Oran demands truth, and truth dissolves all that is false. When the ego resists, suffering arises, but when surrender replaces resistance, the fire becomes a gentle flame that illuminates rather than consumes. Thus the seeker learns, to be inspired is not to be exalted but to be emptied, that spirit may fill the vessel anew. Only the hollow reed can sing with the wind. Oran in nature. Every tree is a prayer, every breeze a blessing. Oran flows not only through the human heart but through every part of the natural world. It is the pulse in the roots of trees, the rhythm of the tides, the pattern of the stars across the night. When we listen deeply, we hear it in the laughter of rivers, the call of the raven, the quiet of the dawn. To walk in nature is to walk within the living body of the goddess, to feel Oran moving through the veins of the earth. In honoring nature, we honor the source of all inspiration. The more we care for the world, the more freely Oran flows, and the more freely it flows, the more the world is healed. The return of the flow. Oran flows in circles. What we give, we receive. In the harmony of the worlds, Oran moves as a circle without end. When we create beauty, it returns to us as joy. When we sow compassion, it returns as peace. When we act with love, the universe mirrors it back 1,000-fold. Thus the flow of Oran is both gift and responsibility. It reminds us that every thought, word, and deed ripples through the great web of existence. The enlightened Druid does not hoard inspiration, they release it freely, as rain returns to the sea. For Oran cannot be owned, it can only be shared. To live as a conduit of Oran is to live as the divine lives, forever giving, forever renewing. The silence beyond Oran. Beyond sound, beyond breath, beyond even light. There is only the stillness from which all things arise. When the flow of Oran has completed its circuit, the seeker returns to the silence, the great stillness before creation, the place where Oran rests between breaths. In that stillness, there is no separation between self and cosmos, between seeker and God, between breath and eternity. Here, enlightenment blooms not as thought but as being, a luminous awareness that simply is. The seeker dissolves, the circle completes, and the flow of Oran becomes infinite once more. Thus ends the 4th chapter, the cauldron of Oran and the flow of divine inspiration. May Oran flow through your body as warmth, through your heart as love, and through your mind as wisdom. May your life become a sacred vessel, and through you, may the gods themselves sing once more. Chapter 5, The Soul and the Journey Beyond. The Veil. Teachings on death, transcendence, and the eternal path of spirit. The immortal spark. We are not born from dust alone. We are flames kindled from the breath of the gods. The soul is the eternal light that dwells within the mortal shell. It is neither born nor destroyed, but travels the endless path of transformation through the worlds. When the body falls away, the soul endures, for it is woven of divine energy, a fragment of the great cosmic consciousness that the Druids called Oran More, the great inspiration of creation. Each life we live is a single verse in the song of the soul. Each experience, each act of compassion or cruelty adds a note to the eternal melody we are composing with the gods. The veil between worlds. Death is not the end, it is the opening of the next door. Between the realms of the living and the realms of spirit lies and forward the veil, a shimmering boundary where matter gives way to light. For the unawakened, this passage may seem dark and fearful, but to the enlightened soul, the veil is translucent, for one who has known the harmony of the elements and walked in balance with the middle way has already glimpsed the worlds beyond. As the final breath leaves the body, the consciousness loosens its earthly bindings, the senses withdraw, the heartbeat fades, and the soul is lifted by the current of Oran into the subtle realms. It stands then at the threshold of the land of the dead, guided by ancestral spirits and the luminous beings of the Aes side who carry it toward the place of judgment and renewal. The land of the dead. All paths converge in the twilight fields of the ancestors. The land of the dead is not a place of torment but of reckoning and remembrance. Here, the soul stands before the immortal judges, divine beings who weigh the resonance of its actions, thoughts, and intentions. They do not punish, but illuminate. They show the soul what it has created through its choices, the joy it brought to others, the pain it caused, the love it gave and withheld. Each soul sees the reflection of its own karma, for nothing in the universe is hidden. This is the mirror of truth, where illusion falls away and only essence remains. From this revelation, the soul chooses its next course: to rest among the blessed, to descend into purification, or to return once more to the middle world to learn anew. The realms beyond the veil. There are many mansions in the house of the goddess. The journey beyond the veil is not to one realm but to many. The Druids knew of 3 sacred destinations. 1. The other world, Ter-Ene Nog, the realm of the gods and transcended masters. Here the enlightened dwell in radiant harmony, aiding in the shaping of worlds and guiding mortal souls from afar. 2. The underworld, and dubbed Domhain, where the unbalanced and the cruel descend for purification. It is not punishment but healing through reflection. The soul experiences what it has inflicted, until empathy and compassion are born from within. 3. The land of the dead, and Moin Minak, the middle realm, where most souls awaken between incarnations. Here, the ancestors gather around fires of remembrance, speaking of the lives they lived and the destinies yet to unfold. These realms are not distant heavens or hells, but states of being within the infinite field of consciousness. As above, so below, the soul carries its heaven or hell within itself. The wheel of return, samsara, and the choice of the soul. Every end is a beginning concealed in light. The cycle of rebirth, known as samsara, is the great wheel of learning. Through countless lives, the soul refines itself, each incarnation offering a new chance to harmonize with divine law. Those who cling to desire, anger, or ignorance return to the mortal world, drawn by the gravity of their own unfinished lessons. Those who live by the middle way, who walk with compassion, wisdom, and balance, may ascend beyond the wheel, their aura flowing unbroken into the realms of light. Yet even some enlightened souls choose to return out of love for those still bound in darkness. These are the Nam Soleil, the souls of light, who walk among mortals as teachers, healers, and seers, their presence a quiet reminder of eternity. The path of judgment and grace. Justice without mercy is cold, mercy without justice is blind. In the land of the dead, justice is tempered by grace. The immortal judges, Brigid the compassionate, Sir Nunnos the keeper of balance, and Belenus the radiant, each hold a mirror of truth before the soul. Brigid sees the fires of the heart, how deeply the soul has loved and served. Sir Nunnos weighs the balance of the soul's actions, its harmony or disharmony with the natural order. Belenus illuminates the mind, the clarity of thought, intention, and wisdom. Together, they restore the soul to awareness. Then, the goddess Gaia herself, the mother of worlds, places her hand upon the spirit and asks, "Have you loved this earth as I have loved you?" In that question lies the soul's true judgment. The river of stars, the passage to Ter-Ene Nog. Across the firmament runs the silver river. The bridge of souls returning home. When a soul has completed its learning, it is drawn toward the river of stars, the Milky Way, which the ancients called Antisli Nananam, the path of souls. Carried upon currents of light, it passes beyond the constellations, beyond time, beyond form, until it reaches Ter-Ene Nog, the land of eternal youth. There, beneath golden skies and endless green meadows, the soul is welcomed by the radiant hosts, the Aes side, the ancestors of light, and the very gods themselves. Here there is no suffering, for all is unity, all is song, all is peace. The soul becomes part of the great chorus of creation, an immortal voice in the symphony of Oran. The return to the source. In the end, all rivers return to the sea. Even the blessed souls of Ter-Ene Nog are not bound to remain forever, for beyond the paradise of the other world lies the great emerging, the return to Oran more, the infinite consciousness. When all lessons are learned, when compassion is perfect and wisdom complete, the soul dissolves into the source from which it once emerged. This is not annihilation, but reunion, the drop returning to the ocean, the spark merging with the sun. In that final embrace, individuality fades, but awareness expands beyond measure. The soul becomes all things, and all things become the soul. This is the true nirvana of Druidism, not escape, but wholeness, not death, but divine remembrance. The mystery of continuance. To be born, to live, to die, to be reborn. All are but the turning of a single leaf upon the tree of eternity. The Druids teach that existence is cyclical and that every life, mortal or divine, is a reflection of a deeper rhythm. We die and are reborn not only in body but in thought, in emotion, in spirit. Every dawn is a resurrection, every sleep, a little death. The wise do not fear the ending, for they have learned to see it as renewal. Each death is a doorway to greater life, and every letting go allows a new light to enter. Thus the circle of Oran continues, ever flowing, ever returning, ever beginning anew. Thus ends the 5th chapter, The Soul and the Journey Beyond the Veil. May you walk in peace when your time comes to cross the river of stars. May Brigid light your way, may Cernunnos balance your steps, may Belena shine upon your path, and may Gaia embrace your return, for death is but the turning of the page in the eternal book of Oran.